Salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. V back with another Age of Empires 3 Thursday, number 9. Welcome. I'm so glad you decided to watch a little Age of Empires 3 with me today. There is no long-winded intro. There is no great rhetorical performance. We're just going to get right into the game and have some fun. In the bottom of the map, playing as the civilization France in the color blue, we have Martiskainen or Martiskainen. I'm going to go with Martis, mainly because I don't feel like I'm messing that up, although I probably am. And in the north of the map, playing in the color red, we have a returner from all the way back in our first cast. It is the one, it is the only, Yug. Now, he gave us a very entertaining Ottoman game. He did not win it versus Sheikh 2020 in the very first game we ever did in Age of Empires 3 Thursday, but I am so happy to see him back. And we are on the map Finland for this France versus Italy matchup. Now, Finland is kind of an interesting map. It's very compact. It's also pretty resource rich. So we could be seeing a lot of long, drawn-out fights with some pretty heavily upgraded units on this pretty packed land. We do have the 2 trading posts in the middle and the 2 trading posts on the coast, and decent treasures. Nothing huge, but there are some fairly easy-to-take treasures that can give some substantial resources. Looks like Yug is going to get his market down early and hunting dogs out. I don't think Martis is going to do the same because he invested in the trading post. Just going to send 3 CDB, excuse me. Can't believe I don't know the name of the most common shipment ever. But, you know, this is kind of an interesting matchup. Mainly because when you look at Martis, he is a legacy player, plays mostly European civs. Specifically, plays a lot of Brit, and a lot of France, and a lot of Dutch. Meanwhile, Yug likes to play a lot of the DE new DLC civs, so plays a lot of Italy, plays a lot of United States, because which top player doesn't play United States now, and he does play Inca as well. So we have new school versus old school, Italy versus France, and you know, whenever I see France, I get so cozy. France is like the comfort food of AOE3. It is the Age of Empires chicken noodle soup. You know, when you're feeling down, when you're not feeling like you had a great day, maybe that new build order didn't work, you can always just queue up some France, make CDBs, and then the world just feels right, you know? Meanwhile, Italy going to be putting down the coastal trading post as well. And it looks like Martis, meanwhile, is already getting his age up in with the quartermaster, because of course. And it looks like Yug sent Capitalism, the coin trickle, as his first card. Does have a decent balance of cards in his deck. Meanwhile, Martis, pretty heavy on the 3rd and 4th age cards, so perhaps not looking to spend a lot of time in Colonial. We could be seeing the very classic 4 CDB 700 wood 700 coin, or maybe even the 4 CDB and 700 coin for a quicker age up, but is stacking a lot of resources, or sorry, excuse me, a lot of XP. Already 1.5 shipments and hasn't even reached the 2nd age yet. Getting down his market, gonna be probably getting hunting dogs and placer mines. And Yug also on the way aged, but looks like he's about a quarter behind our French player. But you know, in contrast, he does already have his market down. He has hunting dogs, he has placer mines coming in, so gonna have a small gap where he does have the economic advantage. Herding is looking not great for Yug, just getting his 2nd herd in. Meanwhile, it looks like Martis has done a very nice job herding, has his 2nd herd under the town center, and his 3rd herd is already on the way, so if he is gearing up to try to get into the 3rd age and perhaps defend some sort of aggression, I think he'll be able to do it quite nicely, even getting down a dock. Is he making fishing boats? He is. So fishing boats on top of perhaps some sort of fast fortress? What does he put down for his building? He's gathered the 700 wood. Sorry, 400 wood. What are you putting down? And stable. Okay, so maybe we are seeing some sort of 5 cav semi-FF with fishing boats. and steel traps. So also getting his upgrades as well. But meanwhile, look at Yug putting down the forward barracks. Well, kind of forward. It's definitely not in his base. And the outpost already collecting the 200 coins, sending 700 wood. Possibly going to see some sort of aggression here out of our Italy player. But this is going to be scouted by France. Yep, they definitely saw the barracks. Have not seen the outpost yet. Gonna try to take down the explorer, which is in letters I cannot understand. And the kill goes to Jean Nicolet. I probably butchered that. But Hussars are in queue for the French player. And he does have 700 wood on the way, even getting gang saw, which is going to help his further fishing boat production if he does decide to invest more heavily in the water. Meanwhile, doesn't look like Italy's going to invest in water at all, but is going to make this aggressive play. Does have out 5 muskets. We'll see what he's going to add on to that. More muskets in queue, along with the Croatian company, sending the Krabats and the Schiavoni, which you know, butchering names is kind of just becoming my staple, which I don't know if I like or not. But these 3 Hussar are going to maybe try to cause trouble, going to try to scoot, and boogie their way around these 5 musks, taking the long way to try to avoid the hard way. And the Croatian company is on its way. The barracks is pumping out more muskets as we speak. Basilica going up. Meanwhile, in Martis's base, what do we have? Just the stable, more houses, more Hussar, and 8 Expo. So perhaps has scouted the muskets and does not want to rely purely on Cav to do it. But gonna try to get a raid in. In come the 3 cavalry. And are they gonna get a kill? Look at them ride. Trying to keep track of them. Oh, they found the villagers. Perhaps one of them going down. Come on, Yug. No. Oh, 1 Vil going down for Yug. Perhaps even 2. But in come the Kravats and the muskets, which should make short work of these Hussars. But a fight going down here in the French base. And the 5 Hussar on top of the other 3 coming out along with the 8 Expo, going to drive off this aggression from the Italian player Yug, being sent back home to deal with 3 very pesky, well, now 2 very pesky cavalry. And, really enjoying the micro here from Martis. Definitely making sure that those Cav are harassing the Italian forces as much as possible and buying himself a lot of time. His 700 coin is on the way. He's already at 900 food, has the coin he needs, perhaps going to try to get out a couple more Hussar and then age on top of it. But it will be interesting to see. The church! What? Holy. I thought when I saw that foundation it was going to be a barracks, but no, a church going down for the French player. Meanwhile, the Italian army has entered the fray, and this is a pretty scary looking army we have coming down the pipe against only 8 Expos and Huss, which are not going to do so well against all of these muskets. The muskets are in melee mode, perhaps to give them a bit more HP against those Expos. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about this Italian pressure. He did pick off 1 Vil. But it doesn't seem to have hampered the French player that much. He is already on his way to the 3rd age. The church furiously going... No, that is the barracks. Okay. The church is already up. And of course, what do you put next to the church but the military base, right? That's just good town design right there. And some damage going on this stable could perhaps lose this building here. If the Italian player can get some severe damage done, he might be able to make this worthwhile. But the French player has just arrived in the 3rd age. The shipment is ready to go. 2 Falconets coming out. He does have Cav to protect him, but it's gonna be a risky play. Gonna lose a lot of his housing here. Gonna get popped. He has villagers furiously gathering wood as we speak. 5 Skirm coming out of the barracks. Meanwhile, Hussars are on the way for the Italian player, and then Monte di Pieta ships the Lombard wagon and deposits some coin. And this Italian army is rampaging through the French base. No Minutemen called as of yet. More muskets joining the fray. The 2 Falconets are going to pop out at any moment along with the 5 Skirm, which are going to do nice damage to the musks. But, oh my god, the Italian army is right under the town center. If those falconets don't pop out on the right side, they do. They scoot away. Boot, scoot, and boogie. The Coureur de Bois on the attack. He brings in all of his villagers, and this Italian army getting wiped out. Oh my god, the carnage. Look at these 5 Huss. They're just saying, no thank you, we are out of here. Oh my god, that was a good fight for the French player. Martis cleaned that up very well. Even kept both of his Falks. Now, I will admit, he does not have a lot of anti-cav here, just the 3 Huss, which are severely damaged. So perhaps wanting to save that army, maybe ship a Dragoon shipment or get out some Dragoons, although he's going to need to get another stable down here. And wow, what a really fun fight. That was just a great pop. The Minutemen, the Falconets, the Skirms, and the Villagers all coming out at the same time. And is that a priest? Is a priest gonna come out of this? This is a beautiful church, by the way. I've never actually zoomed in on the church, but it's a really pretty design. But a priest coming out of the church along with a single skirmisher. And I don't know. I think Mart has held it. Yeah, I think he's definitely held it. He's got 32 Vills versus only 27 from Yug. And that Explorer, sit down. Oh man, this happens every time. Every time there's a major fight, for the next like 2 minutes afterwards, I cannot talk. I just fumble over myself the entire time. So I don't know, maybe it's just the excitement, but look at this army. The Italian army back for round 2, a big batch of Hussars and a big batch of Musks, and still only the 3 Hussars as anti-cav. They are going to chop through these remaining Hussar, and they are going to eat the Skirms and the Falconets alive. And where is the priest? Where's the priest? Where's Father? There's Father. Oh my gosh, Father Martis. He's just watching the carnage in total despair. The villagers even jumping in, but, you know, I said Martis had held it here, and now I'm not so sure. That second push really did a number. I mean, he had no anti-cav. No Dragoons, no muskets, just Skirms and Falconets and a couple of Hussar. The Coureur de Bois starting to fight, and more Hussar coming out, but the Dragoons and Skirms have now joined the fray. He's got pure counter units, and if he can micro them well, weaving them into the buildings, and Father Martis is still alive. Oh, bless you, Father. Oh my gosh. See, you know, this is why I love watching high-level games, because they just make this stuff work somehow. If you're 13 to 1600 ELO, you would never make a priest unless you're trying to lose the game. But somehow, these guys in the 1800 to 2400 bracket, they just make it work. Although, you know, speaking of that, I don't know if Martis is technically working right now, because he has a villager lead, but man, he feels very cooped up. And so many more Huss coming out. If he can, hopefully he can kite with these Dragoons. That coin mine doing a really nice job keeping the Hussar away. And more Dragoons coming out, but it's been quite a while since Mart's been able to just sit back and gather resources. The Dragoons have been cornered in between the market and the stable. More Dragoons coming out, trying to save this batch of skirmishers, but Hussar are everywhere, muskets are everywhere, and no French villagers are able to gather. Looks like 5 Dragoons finally being delivered along with 5 more Skirms. Perhaps he can hold it. Another shipment available. Perhaps maybe going to send 8 Skirms on top. Oh, man. If he can hold this. I don't know. I mean, because Yug's pretty much all in here. He has almost no resources. So it's not like he's aging behind this, is he? No, he is not. He's just shipping more Hussar, but now that we have 7 Dragoons on the field, those Hussar are going to become obsolete very, very quickly. Although we do have to remember that Mart, for a very long time, did not get a chance to gather, but now that he has held the 2 large pushes, it did cost him a lot, but he has now held it. He is an age ahead. He's got very advanced units, which counter anything his opponent can make currently. He's got 8 Skirm on the way. He's got enough Dragoons to ward off any Hussar attacks, and driving the muskets off, looking really good for Mart. Though I was worried. I really thought that second push was going to do a lot more damage, but you know, the walling of the buildings. And of course, Father Mart saving the day. Is Father Mart still alive? Oh, don't tell me Father Mart is gone. Oh, guys, I think we lost Father Mart. Now that is really sad. Can we all have a moment of silence, please?
J'ai repris des forces.
Okay. Oh, the villager just saying, all right, or sorry, the explorer, Jean-Nicolas, saying, nope, we're done. But these skirms are going to get caught by the remaining Hussar. The goons got to get back. You can't lose those skirms too freely. You are not safe yet, Martis, my friend. You have not quite stabilized, and look at how many Hussar are on the map. Going to have to kite very quickly. I think he's just going to have to say goodbye to those skirms, but while the Hussar are attacking those skirms, just getting decimated by those dragoons, and it's getting to the point where the trades for Italy are just not doing well. I mean, he's getting a couple of skirm in exchange for a batch of Hussar and a batch of Musks. That's just not an equal trade. But let's see. What does Martis have left? He is sending long lines instead of more units. I think that's a fair shake right now. The skirms have gotten into the fray, although the Hussar are trying to get on top of them, but those Musks falling so quickly to the combined Dragoon and Skirmisher fire. And meanwhile, we do have to remember that Martis still has the villager advantage, 32-36 in favor of France, and the Italian army is getting cleaned up on a major level here. And we also have to remember that Italy is getting fairly spread out with their resources, and France does have the extra boost of the water economy, has about 12 fishing boats on the water gathering food, so perhaps even when he was belled up, he was still able to fund those skirm and dragoon productions through that water play. So really nice by Martis, although I do have to give it to Yug. That was a really nice second push when he was able to take out the Falks and that group of skirmishers and the group of Minutemen. Just wasn't able to quite break the back of the French player. I think if he had arrived perhaps a minute or two early, the game would be over. But the raids are starting to happen and things are starting to flip. Pavis crossbowmen coming out for the Italian player, although against veteran skirmishers, I don't know if that's going to be enough. It does seem like Yug is gearing up for an age up. Has about 900 food, no, 1,000 food and 1,000 coin. So he's going to be able to age up quickly here, but is he going to be able to catch up in time, or is the French army simply going to get too big? Does have some very nice age 3 shipments, but if the French player marches in before he's fully aged, we could see a decisive blow here. Dragoons and skirmishers running around the map, trying to do as much damage as possible. More dragoons, more skirms coming out. We have not seen any switch to heavy cavalry just yet. Gonna continue going skirm and goon, which I think is perfectly fine. And Yug getting some more market upgrades, getting the age 3 in queue with a lot of Pavis crossbowmen here. They might be able to save this outpost, although I'm not so sure. Nope, doesn't look like it. I think he's going to lose this outpost. More Pavis crossbowmen coming out. And what's being produced from the French player? 3 cures are on the way, and if these muskets are killed by the time they appear, those Pavis crossbowmen are going to be down for the count. But I think things decisively turning into the French player's favor, especially with the Caravel. Oh my god, the Caravel now bombarding the Italian city from the shoreline. And did he only have one? Oh, he must have made one. He didn't send 2 caravels, did he? No. He doesn't even have it in his deck. Making the 1 caravel, I like that. Gonna harass his opponent on the coast and going into full cure production. Gonna take out this barracks, perhaps? I mean, these Pavis are now veteran. Gonna do quite a bit of damage, especially to the dragoons, but once these cures arrive, I don't know. I mean, I don't think these H2 muskets are gonna be enough to save them. And how many cures do we have on the map? The French cavalry have arrived. Although these 3 need to get involved in the fight. The 5 are coming up. The 3 from the shipment are staying behind. And continuing to pour into Pavis production, although is balancing in some musks as well. He does not have them at veteran status yet. Italian musketeers, very, very good once they are able to be upgraded. though still waiting on those. The Cuirassiers coming in, gonna catch the Pavis running away, gonna allow the skirmishers to get in some nice damage from behind, and that is the game. The Pavis and Yug not even wanting to take on these cures. And, I think that was probably the right call. At that point, I just think Yug was playing from such a deficit. Once he was unable to break the French base with that second push, I think things started to fall away from him fairly quickly. And a very nice job by Martis. That was a great pop to hold that first push. Second push was a little bit sloppy, losing his Falcon, his skirmishers, but was able to recover, do some decent kiting between his buildings with his skirms and his dragoons, and just beat the Italian rush, which I think that's the first time I've seen an Italian rush. It's viable. It has its merit, actually. I'm not altogether against it. Though there's a reason there's a reason why traditional French play is so strong, right? It's really good. And this added water play, it did slow him down a bit, but it meant that while his base was under siege, he was still able to gather food and even gather coin if he needed to. So, yeah, that was a good game. I enjoyed that very much, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. If you did, leave a comment below, leave a like. If you have some criticism for me that's constructive, I would love to hear that as well. I'm always looking to get better and to learn more about this wonderful game that we all love. But until next Thursday, I wish you a very happy week. Have a great day and a great life. See you later.